Hi, I'm Oz of Expert Sleepers here at Superbooth18, and I'd like to show you what I've got new this year with a particular focus on what I'm doing with Thonk in a wee while. The big news, I guess, for the show is the FH2, which is this module here. It's a MIDI to CV converter and clocking center hub thing that connects anything you can think of to anything else in that kind of MIDI way. It's a USB MIDI host. It's a USB MIDI device, and it supports 5-pin DIN MIDI through the Breakout, which is one of the kits that you can get from Thonk. So this is the FH2 here. USB host port, this is where you'll plug in your controller. I've got a Rolly here, or a MIDI keyboard, or a thing with faders on it, or any number of these things with a hub to connect them all together. USB device port, which is where you'll plug straight into a laptop or an iPad to drive things from that. 8 outputs, 2 inputs, which for clocks and stuff coming from the modular. So in this particular example, I've got the Rolly plugged in, Seaboard block, doing MPE MIDI to CV conversion. I've got my pressure, I've got my pitch, and I've got my glide. All of these CVs polyphonically up to a number of distings in wavetable VCO mode to give us these sounds, so I can play 2 at a time. Just get some nice chords. And these incidentally are going through a disting ping-pong delay and a disting reverb to give it a bit more richness to the sound. So that's one use case, playing the modular from a keyboard. Clocking is a big part of it too. Very hard to rapidly switch to a patch that does that, but taking a clock, say, from a laptop, or from, I've got an Electron Digitact over there, anything that'll send a MIDI clock can send a clock into here and then generate analog clock pulses out of all these outputs to sync the modular. It can generate its own clock internally, just start, stop on the button and twiddle the knob for a tempo, tap tempo, or also it'll take a tempo from anywhere else in the modular through an input and use that to generate other clock divisions and output MIDI clock back to the rest of your system. The other thing I'd like to talk about briefly, this module, which is going to be coming soon as a kit from Thonk. It looks like the existing MIDI Breakout, but isn't. This is a MIDI, it's another MIDI Breakout, I guess, but it connects to what we've called the Select bus, which is something that's supported by the disting and the general CV there, and by a number of modules by the other manufacturers like Make Noise and WMD. And basically this uses the internal CV bus that runs along the backplane of all these cases, which Dirtfor originally intended as a CV, but which is rarely used for that. And basically it uses it as a MIDI bus, largely so you can do preset save and recall on a whole row of modules at the same time. So I've got it connected up to a little USB MIDI interface from my laptop there. I've got some clips here in live, which have got program changes on, which you can put in a clip in live. So when I trigger these clips with the program changes, it's sending the MIDI program change through here, and these 2 modules are changing to a different preset. Not very useful presets, but you get the idea. And if you can zoom back in on the general CV and the disting, you'll see that they're both changing at the same time under remote control, basically. Just mute that. So yeah, this is something that this thing and general CV have supported for a while. I've been demoing it with the Macro Machine storage strip up till now, which is a very useful way of doing the same thing. But this Breakout thing, which is going to be available as a kit in a couple of months' time, lets you connect this up to a normal MIDI interface and do this patch save and recall in the modular, which when you've got a number of things which you want to change, say in the middle of a song, part of a sequence, or between songs, press a button or do something on your thing that sends MIDI. That could be coming equally well from the Digitact there. Just send a program change and all your modules switch simultaneously.